here, and every time I start start the shows, Google Hangout does this weird thing where it counts down that your show is going live. So I always think, all right, I'm going to wait just a couple seconds before I start talking, and then I'll say something. And then I'll see another pop up, and I'll hear a ding and a bell. So I usually get cut off in mid-sentence. So this is just me rambling here to be able to say, hello, everyone. Welcome to the 3-year YouTube anniversary for me, Rob Myers, Rob's Rogues. And first of all, before I say anything else, I want to say a big thank you, everybody, for watching Rob's Rogues over the 3 years. And I've been really happy to be doing this. It's a fun hobby. And I know there's a bunch of YouTubers out there that do YouTube as their daily job and get paid for doing it. And that would be great to maybe able to do that one day. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but it's just cool to be able to get a chance to meet and talk to a bunch of other people that we're all like-minded with collecting action figures and comics and movies and all these wonderful things that I wouldn't get to meet otherwise. So I know this show going live is very early in the morning. It is 9:28 for me right now on Friday, and the anniversary was supposed to be, or actually was Monday the 18th, but what is the date today, as I'm being very professional here? The 22nd. Due to just my full-time day job, working at Lowe's Distribution Center here in Ohio, that things, the work day was just a lot longer than I had anticipated it being. Not that the hours changed at all, but got home late from doing other activities on Monday, and the rest of the week just kind of spilled over. It was just kind of one long big weekend, or one long week rather. So I decided I'll have a lot of free time on Friday. Friday is my day off. I have Friday, Saturday, Sunday off every week, so I only work a 4-day week. It's a 10-hour work week, so I thought, you know what, I'll have more time to kind of prep for the anniversary show. I should have been doing that the last weekend, but I didn't think that I was going to run into a kind of a longer week than anticipated at work. So enough about work. I'm off of work, and hopefully you guys are off of work. And for most of you that were going to be watching this live, probably in a prime time spot around 8 o'clock, is now you're going to catch it after it's already aired on YouTube. So again, a big thanks. Currently, I haven't been saying my subscriber count. I didn't want it to be like, oh, I want to get a bazillion subscribers. I think that's cool to see the subscriber count continue to grow, and it has grown from last year, which means the world to me. So I know maybe not every single thing on Rob's Rogues, or just out, and when you're kind of surfing around on YouTube, you may not watch every single video, and I fully understand that. It's very Robin centric, and of course, you know, DC's you're kind of seeing up here. There are a few Marvel things from time to time. I still have Anthony's Iceman figure. He so graciously gave me when we met about a month ago. So that's been really cool to make some really cool friendships on YouTube, and actually getting a chance to meet some of these people has just been really cool. So I have this bucket list now of YouTubers that I would like to be able to meet in person. I got a chance to meet 2 of them, ODC and Strident, both same time, same day. So that was really cool to meet both you gentlemen. So very cool, sirs. My subscriber count right now, I'm not saying this to be boastful or anything like that, but I'm just amazed at 732 subscribers in a 3-year span. I know some channels are up over 1,000, or that's great. Me thinking when I initially started this that I didn't know, am I going to have 1 subscriber? Am I going to have 10? I was hoping for 10. If I get 10 subscribers, cool, I've got 10 people, but 732 people took the time to like, click, and subscribe, and that means the absolute world to me. So the channel, I wouldn't be doing and trying all these different things on the channel to make it enjoyable for people to watch if I wasn't seeing the subscriber count growing. And once I started hitting some of the Batman animated series reviews, that really started bringing in the subscriber count. Not that I'm going to turn this into an animated series show, but I think I hit a mark with some people that the Batman animated series was something really big and really special. So, like I said in the update video where people were submitting questions, that I would say immediately after this video, I do have one other figure. The Earth 2 Batman just arrived at my post office. Actually, he was here early as Monday, but I get off at 5 o'clock every Monday, and getting to the post office closes at 4:15, so I can't pick him up till Friday on my day off. But then again, I was getting home later than every night, so it wouldn't have mattered to be able to pick him up. But he's going to be the next review that you'll see here. And then I wanted to get him out of the way. I've been eager to get him. And then immediately after Earth 2 Batman, we will go into Maxwell's wonderful box of Batman animated series figures. And it is 99% Batman animated series. And there are a few other, there's Batman Beyond figures are in there. So it'll be a first Batman Beyond figure that I've ever owned. I was kind of surprised I didn't get a question about Batman Beyond, why I haven't talked about Batman Beyond. So maybe somebody can ask that. And I can just tell you, I'm not a big fan of the show. I probably just lost 100 subscribers right there for whatever it was. It never drew me into it. I like my Batman in the here and the now. It's cool when Dick Grayson was Batman, and you could kind of you know, weave in and out of that a little bit. And even when they wrote Damian as Batman in kind of an Elseworld type story, but getting out into a future where even though to have somebody else in the Batman cowl is kind of cool, I still like my Bruce Wayne Batman. So anyway, that's why I never really watched an episode of Batman Beyond. I think I've watched like one or two, or when they crossed over with the Justice League Unlimited, I watched, you know, that episode. So anyway, that's my Batman Beyond tangent. So the Batman animated series action figures that he so graciously gave me almost a year ago, Maxwell. I am very sorry. Figures kept coming out that I was reviewing that I was almost putting them ahead of other things. Not that I didn't care to review the wonderful box that you gave me, but I wanted to make sure I had the time allotted and I could be very thorough in going through your gracious gift to me. So, Maxwell, thank you very much, and I'm going to thoroughly enjoy going through those action figures you gave me for the animated series. And there are some figures in there that were Holy Grail figures of mine that I now own. So I need to come up with a new Holy Grail figure, which goes into some of the questions that I have here on my sheet that some of my lovely YouTube viewers out there so kindly sent in. And again, I'm going to be saying thank you so many times in here. Just think 3 years ago I started doing this, and I didn't know where the channel was going to go or what I was really doing. I was kind of winging it there for a little bit, kind of watching other reviewers and going, okay, I see what they're doing here. I'll borrow a little bit of this and do a little bit of that, until I was my wife that was just kind of like, just be yourself, do whatever it is that makes you Rob Myers, and you be the best Rob Myers you can be. As corny and Brady Bunch as that sounds, I think after a while I really got my footing probably in year 2. I kind of go back and look at some of the older videos and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have as many subscribers as I have now. They haven't probably gone back into early part of the channel. You want a good laugh or want to see where this all started from, go back to the very, very first review, the first 1 or 2 videos. You can kind of see me get the uhs, you know, and all that kind of stuff out of the way. So not that I still don't do that, but again, a very big thank you. So I had asked my reviewers, you kind people out there, to submit questions, and in doing so, that would put you in the running for this guy right here. This is the DC Eagle Moss Damian Wayne chess piece. He is the Bishop, and if I can reach off camera here, here is mine from Stu Murray 47. He so graciously sent me, and it was really kind of hard to pick these up initially here in the States, as it was a subscription service over in the UK, and it was really hard to get them here. So after about a year or so, they started showing up here in the States where comic book shops would buy them and then just start, selling them in the comic book stores. But it was really hard initially, as I'm being a professional, reaching off camera, to get a hold of them. So I initially thought I was only going to get just the Bat family, just due to the unlikelihood of being able to get the whole entire chess set. So I was able to get. I bought Red Robin was the very first piece. Being a huge Tim Drake fan, obviously, as you can see here, there, things backwards on camera. So I thought I got Tim Drake, Red Robin. Cool, that's awesome, that's great. And talking to Stu a little bit, he's like, well, some of these are starting to come out here. Maybe I can get a few of them for you. So he sent me Batman, Damian, and Nightwing. Very cool of Stu to do. And then I started finding them in my local comic book stores. And so I was picking up one here, one there. And Stu would say, hey, if there's any others you want, let me know. He hooked me up. So I was able to get Shazam from him. And then in one of them, I bought 5 at one time at a comic book store that had, they just didn't sell some of the other ones. I think it was like Black Mask, Red Hood, Hush, and Man-Bat, and then Damien was there. So I had bought all of them but the Damien figure, and he's like, well, don't you want this one? I said, well, I already have it. I don't need a duplicate of the figure. And he's like, how about I just throw it in? He's like, not that it's not a bad figure. He's like, I just don't want to be setting on one piece. So I don't have the book to give away. And I said I was going to do the drawing in this, so hopefully this doesn't make anybody mad. But out of the questions that people sent in, one person went above and beyond in the questions that was submitted. I think you probably know who you are. They made me laugh. They made me think. So I thought this deserves to go to that single individual. Not that anybody else's questions were bad or horrible, but I really enjoyed all the questions he sent, and a lot of these I'm going in cold, but I read through all of his, and I'm still going to struggle to answer them, and some of them just made me laugh and made me go, I have never thought about that. So you will be the last set of questions I answer, as you have the most questions submitted. Not that that was a prize. I was going to pull everybody's name out of a hat. But, sir, you've been really cool, kind of me and my channel, so this is going to you, sir, and you'll realize who you are in just a moment. So, again, hopefully that doesn't dismay anybody. The other thing that I read wrong was there was a set of action figures that were going to start coming out. I guess I thought they were supposed to be out August, September. I thought, okay, maybe I can do this as a giveaway for the YouTube anniversary or do it for later. And I don't know why I had a brain fart thinking it was going to be out around this time, and I'm completely wrong. So it's going to be a giveaway. So actually the big thing that I wanted to give away as a thank you is not going to be out till Christmas time. So there will be a Christmas type of show giveaway as kind of an addendum or a add-on to this YouTube anniversary. I don't want to say what it is. But if you've been watching Rob's Rogues long enough, you kind of know what it might be. There's a set of action figures coming out that are going to be made in 6-inch scale. So if you can see from DC Collectibles what's going to be coming out, it's a very popular thing. Let's say it was out in the 90s. They had action figures, and now they're going to be made bigger. And I ordered 2 of them, one for me and one for a giveaway to a YouTube viewer. So that is going to be the actual big thing. So that will be the actual name drawing out of the hat for just me be able to say Merry Christmas, and again, thanks for a YouTube reviewing community that means a lot to me. So we will get into the question and answer segments on the show, and I've got a bunch here. So can't see all the names, but I will read them off. People sent 1, 2, 3. Some sent a little bit more, which I greatly appreciated. And hopefully my air conditioner kicking on doesn't bother anything. So with enough rambling here, let's get into the question and answer portion of the YouTube anniversary. That was kind of the crust of the show this year. I was trying to think of something new to do, what I try to do for every anniversary. I may pick a certain action figure to look at or to talk about a few things. Last year, I did have a few people send questions to me just sporadically through the year, So I kept a couple of them and I added them into the 2-year YouTube anniversary, and I liked that, so I kind of made that the part for this year. So we will start with the first question here from Stu Murray 47. I think the way YouTube lists the questions, it goes the most recent to the oldest. So that's just how I printed these out. So it's not in any particular order. I just went on how I printed the form out. Excuse me. Talking so long, I've got something to drink. All right. Stu Murray 47 asks, what is your absolute grail statue piece? If you had unlimited funds that can get any statue currently available, what would it be? This is so hard, as I do not have any statues in my collection at all, unless you count the DC Collectibles Darkseid figure, which he could be a statue all on his own. Probably the first statue I'm going to get is I'm going to say this horribly wrong, the Kotobukiya, I think I'm saying that wrong, the Damien Artifacts statue is going to be my first statue that I'm going to pick up unless I happen to stumble across one later. There was a Tim Drake statue when the Warner Brothers store was going on. Some of these questions I'll put pictures on my Facebook page, the stuff that I'm referring to, so if you kind of want to see what I'm talking about. But there was a Tim Drake statue from the Warner Brothers store back in the late 90s, early 2000s, 2001, I think, where I can't tell you the name of the sculptor at all, but he's kind of sitting on a gargoyle. One that, if money was no object, and I can't find the image on my computer, but I have it on my phone, but I will put it on my YouTube or my Facebook page, is, and the name is escaping me right now, but there is a Batman and Damien custom statue that's out right now, and Stu could easily say, oh, that's so-and-so. I like their Facebook page, but I completely, the name is escaping me right now, so after this live show, I'll put up the photo and you can see it. But it is a behemoth statue of Batman and Damien, where it looks like the two statues, as it was custom made. It's not done by DC Collectibles, and I think if Stu told me right, he's the one that had sent me the images. I think it could be $500 to $600 for this statue. It's a very, very large statue. From where I'm sitting at my table here, using my head as a height, it would probably hit me at about the eyes from my table, or kind of this height right up here. It's a very, very large statue. So that would be one, if I could beg and plead, borrow, cheat, and steal, and beg my wife for, let's just take home his tax return, and I can buy this one gigantic statue. That's what I would do. There's another commissioned piece of Damien on top of a gargoyle that I think looks really, really cool, with interchangeable heads. You can have hood up, hood down. It's funny that if I could pick a statue and it would, money was no object, I'm picking two pieces that have Damien, where Tim Drake is my favorite Robin. There haven't been a whole lot of Robin statues available, other than, a few here or there. There was a Teen Titans statue and a Warner Brothers store exclusive statue. That's one I would definitely love to get, is that Tim Drake Warner Brothers store. I've seen it on eBay from time to time, so I think eventually I'll bite the bullet and I'll pick it up. I would like to have that. So that would be one. So there's the long answer for your first question, Stu. He had a second one. If you could have a sit-down interview with anyone from movies, TVs, comics, actors, writers, artists, directors, etc., for your channel, what would it be? Currently, right now, I think I would probably pick Tomasi, Peter J. Tomasi, and Patrick Gleason from the Batman and Robin comic series. I've thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed the New 52 run of Batman and Robin. Peter Tomasi has found the perfect voice for the Damien character, Robin character, and then just as we got the Damien character solidified in the New 52, he was ripped away from us. So the current story that Tomasi is doing right now, going into the hunt for Robin and now the rise of Robin, has me really, really excited. And there's a million and one questions I would love to ask Tomasi if I could have him on, a Google Hangout, or even for my Robin podcast. I would like to ask that. Patrick Gleason is the artist for the Batman and Robin series, but he's also done a lot of work drawing Tim Drake in the old continuity. And I just loved his Tim Drake in the latter part of the Robin book before it became the New 52. He did a lot of covers, didn't do a lot of interior work on the issue, but his covers were absolutely phenomenal. I would like to interview the guy that drew this picture up here that I got from Edgar Leeton, Neil Adams, as he and Norm Breyfogle were the two designers responsible for creators designing the Tim Drake Robin costume. I would like to ask them, what all went into it, and Neil Adams was very practical in what he chose for the Tim Drake character for him to look like. So I would love to just pick his brain. He's very much associated with Batman and DC as a whole, but he had a huge, huge hand in designing the look of Tim Drake with Norm Breyfogle. I know Breyfogle's run on Batman was great, and his look for Tim Drake, and also along Tom Lyle, who drew this poster here, I would like to interview for as well. Movie actors and things like that. I'm a sucker for James Bond, so any of the James Bond actors. One that I would like to interview would be George Lazenby, who only did one James Bond movie, and that was On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and that movie gets trashed on sometime. I think it's a lovely film. I think he did a really good job, but Sean Connery was so great as James Bond that people couldn't see anybody else being James Bond. So unfortunately, he only got to do one movie, and I would love to just talk to him just about James Bond and what he did, after James Bond. It's one of my favorite James Bond movies. I wouldn't say it's my absolute favorite, but if there are movies that I watched multiple times just in the James Bond series, On Her Majesty's Secret Service is one of those. So if you haven't ever seen that movie and what you conceptions may be of James Bond, check it out. I really like it. Telly Savalas plays the bad guy in it, so I really like it. But very cool. So for the channel, I don't think that really applies here, but at least that's a movie and all that type of stuff. It'd be kind of cool to interview Joel Schumacher about Batman Forever. I have a soft spot for Batman Forever. I really like that film, and kind of talk to him about what he was thinking about going in between what he did with Batman Forever and why he took the left turn and went almost 180 degrees in the opposite but same direction, if that makes sense, for Batman and Robin. So that would be the couple people that I would interview. But before the YouTube community and for what my channel is, those would be the people that I would do. You know what I mean. Interview. Moving on. Chapman Films, our good buddy Chapman Films. Question. When are you going to do What's in the Tote again? I didn't think the What's in the Tote thing was going to be something that people were going to like, so I picked a tote that I kind of sort of knew what was in there, at least the top layer of it. And I thought, if it turns out to be a dud segment, then I won't do it again. So that's why I really didn't give it its own thing. I just included it into the YouTube announcement anniversary, and I got some cool responses on it. So the next one, I think I might actually do after I do the Earth 2 Batman. I do have a few of the Batman animated series figures already reviewed, but it might be kind of cool to revisit that again really quick. I know I have a Star Wars tote, a huge, huge, large Star Wars tote, and I have not seen what's in there for probably, let's say, since the Phantom Menace. That tells you how long I've had this tote. Now, I've added to this tote, it's full of Star Wars action figures, top to bottom. So, but I don't know who or what's in there, and there were some Powers of the Force, where they were started. The Powers of the Force was a line that encompassed A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and then some of the Elseworlds, Shadows of the Empire is in there, and then Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and then anything else I could cram into this box. Excuse me, I'm gonna have to be drinking a little bit, a little cough here. So. That would be one. I have another tote that if you want me to pick a tote that I have no idea what's in it, I could do that. But I've had people ask me about some Star Wars stuff if I was going to do any Star Wars reviews or anything, which would be a complete departure from Robin and DC. But I'm still on the fence about that. But at least maybe you can see a Star Wars collection and other things that I've collected, which gets into a question down here again. So Jason, to answer your question, it'll be very, very soon. I mean, very, very soon, probably in the next 1 to 2 videos, if even that long. Excuse me. Something that Chapman always asks us in our little Rogue Show chat room that we have as we're talking about figures and stuff, and even in our comments, you may see him say, "What's it smell like? What's the figure smell like?" So his question is, what is your smelliest figure? The smelliest figure, if Chapman, you may have him, Stinkor from He-Man is my smelliest figure. Now, I know some of the DC collectibles, and I'm talking Stinkor from 1980. I have that original Stinkor action figure somewhere in my parents. So I could do what's in the tote or what's in my parents' basement. I have enough segments to go on for an eternity. But most recently, I'm looking up at my figures here. I don't have him. I sent Superboy out. Superboy has probably been the smelliest DC collectibles figure. A notable other stinky figure, probably Kid Flash. I don't know if there was some type of oil or whatever was in there, but cleaning agent or whatever. But Superboy was really, really. He smelled like lighter fluid. We were joking that if you had a lit match or were somebody that smoked and you lit up, I think Superboy would go up in flames. So I'm glad they're not that way. The Capullo series Batman was a little on the stinky side. So the stinkiest figure would be Stinkor, although I think now it's more than 30 years old. I think the skunk smell has probably worn off of Stinkor. But I remember asking for that as a kid. My mom said, "Why do you want a He-Man action figure that looks like a skunk?" I said, "Because he smells like a skunk." So that's a funny little thing there. So yeah, I do have a small He-Man collection. I sold a bunch of stuff off. My parents had a garage sale. We were going through some of my old toys, and I thought, I don't know if I'm going to do anything with this He-Man stuff. And it's not like that He-Man's popular anymore, and well, guess what? He-Man's kind of popular again. So there you go. But that was sold probably 10 years ago before He-Man started making a comeback. So moving on. Hernandez, I'm going to say it wrong. Hario? Hernandez, please forgive me if I said your name wrong. I've enjoyed your channel, sir. You live in Costa Rica, and didn't realize how hard it is for you to get some things. So I think it's really cool that you're starting to get some of the action figures and things that we're getting right now. So I think that's really pretty cool. He asked, this is a really cool question. If there were no, say it again. If there were no YouTube channel of Rob's Rogues, would you have a collection like the one you have right now, or would it be different? I think I probably would not have as much as I have. It's not that because I have the YouTube channel, I feel like I need to keep buying stuff. Although I think my wife would say, she says all the time, "Where's the end?" It's like, is there an end? Like, you've bought the last Robin figure you're ever going to buy. Have you bought the last Batman figure you're ever going to buy? It's not like that DC Collectibles has said, all right, this is it. This is the end-all, be-all. We're done making stuff. There's always going to be a new iteration or this or that. I am trying to dwindle down the amount of stuff I'm buying and maybe take a tip to the hat from Stu and do more Robin stuff. As my wife always says, money doesn't grow on trees. So, but as you find out through these What's in the Tote segments, that I've been collecting for a very long time. But I think just because of YouTube started sparking the interest in wanting to collect again. For a time, I was only picking up things off and on. If you can see up here on the top of the shelf here, the Tim Drake Robin that came with the 2-pack with the Damien kind of right over here. There he is. Was one of the last things I bought. I talked myself out of buying the DC UC Classics Batman and Robin Walmart 2-pack because I thought, oh, this Tim Drake looks better, and I bought it. And that was before I was doing YouTube. And probably about 6 to 7 months later, I started buying DC UC stuff. As DC UC was at about the end of their run, I think it came on during Wave 16, which was a great wave for me. It was the Bane Build-A-Figure wave. We got 2 Robins in that set, Azrael Batman, the Riddler, Bane, and then a couple throwaway figures. I thought, yeah, they could have done a more Robin Batman theme, but that was I think Mercury was in that set. Excuse me. And there was somebody else. I'm totally escaping. I can't quite see the collection from here. I want to say Bronze Tiger, but that wasn't it. But whoever else was the other figure in that wave was my first DC Universe Classic set, and that's just lit the fire and me collecting. So, and then I got into DC Collectibles because Mattel was on the decline. So in these last couple of years, I have bought a lot of stuff that I don't know necessarily if I would have bought as many of the characters I would have if it hadn't been for YouTube. I think because I just got hooked and I thought, oh, this figure looks really cool. I would like to be able to review this. And so I didn't buy it necessarily. I see some people on YouTube that they will buy something just for the sake of reviewing it and then they sell it off, which, I mean, I guess is good. That kind of keeps your channel going around. But I don't feel the need to sell any of my stuff. I like each and every individual figure that you may see here and then the whole shelf that you can't see off to the side, that I can't imagine parting with any of my figures unless it would be duplicate or, you know, something like that. Even some figures up here that, you know, even some of these Mattel figures, which I know I bought some of the Power Attack figures that maybe I shouldn't have. I shouldn't be supporting Mattel on that line, but hey, it's Robin. I'm going to. Where I've seen some people will just sell. I know that some people may fall hard on times and need the money, but I would have a hard time. I kind of feel like my figures and comics are almost like kids, and I don't want to get rid of them. And maybe I've been buying as much as I have been recently because the wife and I are thinking about wanting to start a family. So I know once we have a child, that the child's needs are going to come first rather than my action figure collection. So my collection would probably be a little bit smaller than what it is. But I think because of the help of YouTube and Facebook, I was made aware of a lot of other figures and a lot of other companies that I didn't know were out there. I may not have stumbled onto DC Collectibles right away, or I might not have been on YouTube or just on the internet as much because of watching somebody's YouTube channel. I went and thought, oh, I liked that figure that they reviewed or that they showed. I want to go out and buy it. So I think the two went hand in hand for me, that my collection grew because of YouTube, not because of like, okay, I'm gonna make us go broke and I'm gonna buy everything underneath the sun and then I'm gonna review it. Again, pardon, excuse me. So yeah, I think it would look a little different if I had never stumbled onto YouTube. My collection might be rather small or smaller. My wife would say my collection was large to begin with, and now it's even gotten larger. And this room is filling up very, very fast. Thank you for your comment, sir. John Velasquez Jr. Right here, this comment that you see, so backwards here. Batman Eternal #5 is autographed by James Tynion, and you, sir, said you were going to go meet him, and was there anything I would like to try and get autographed? When I was talking about it on the Rogue Show, your name totally blanked in my head, so I'm now giving you props for sending me that. That's also been really cool out of YouTube that people have been sending stuff. Not that I'm asking for anything, but somebody said, hey, I saw something that you might like, or would you be interested in this? So that just humbles me to no end at all. So thank you very much, sir. Your question is, since you have more than just Batman and Robin figures, I was wondering if you had any Superman action figures. If so, what are they? I have reviewed the DC Collectibles. I keep pointing like you can see it. The New 52 Superman figure. Going back, I did review a few Superman figures. I think when the Man of Steel was coming out or after it had been out. I do have some Superpowers action figures. I have a good chunk of the Superpowers action figures, and Superman is obviously one of those. There was the Superman figures I was referring to, I think, was the Death and Return of Superman, or more the Return of Superman action figures. Or I have Steel. There are 3 3/4, so they're kind of in line with the Superpowers or the Batman animated series figures size of figures. And then I have Superman. He's got his long hair, and each of them have like these superpowers, a gimmick to them. Steel, if you turn at the waist, he has his hammer held like this, and the arm comes flying out with the hammer. Superman, I think if you move his arm or his head, or maybe like they're both connected, you push down the head, the arm goes up, so it looks like you can get him in a flight pose. I do have a Superman Returns. I did have 3 figures. I sent 2 of them to Stu Murray 47. Actually, I sent 3 of them to Stu. That 2-pack of Jor-El and Con-El, Toys R Us exclusive. That his were really kind of beat up, so I sent him. Those are mint in package. And Lex Luthor from that. And I still have a Brandon Routh Superman. I have 2 of them. A quick change Clark Kent action figure. You can put like a hair and glasses. It's really cheesy looking. And a suit and jacket. You can tuck the cape in, everything down the pant leg. So it looks like he's standing like this. But I have that, and then just a standard Superman figure from that line. I think it was like the Kryptonite breaking Superman, if I remember correctly. I don't have too many Superman action figures other than my DC Universe Classics. I have the New 52 DC Universe All-Star Superman from the Unlimited line, and then Chapman Films sent me the DC Superheroes Superman figure. And that's a great figure. And I used to have a DC Universe Classics Superman figure. My mom was looking for a Superman action figure before the Total Heroes line came out around us, and she was wanting to get one for my nephew. She got him a Batman one and wanted a Superman to go with him. And that Superman figure wasn't out around us, so I gave my mother the DC Universe Classics All-Star Superman to give to my nephew. And he's 5 years old and loves that Superman to death. So that was a figure that I did have, but I passed it on to my nephew, and so maybe he'll get involved into collecting action figures. So those are the Superman figures that I have. I don't have a whole lot of them, but the ones I do have, I do like quite a bit. So thank you for the question, sir. The Heroes Workbench asked, what are your top 5 superheroes besides Batman and Robin? So leaving them out of the equation, these are in no particular order. I'm trying to make sure I'm looking around the room at my action figures and make sure I don't forget any. I'm not just picking for action figures. These are the heroes that I have. First one that I'm kind of seeing out of the corner of my eye is Iceman. As big as a Marvel fan, or big as a DC fan as I am, I do like a lot of Marvel characters, and I have quite a few Spider-Man comic books and Avengers and things like that, some X-Men. Iceman became one of my favorites because of the 80s cartoon show Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends with Iceman and Firestar. And I loved the Bobby Drake character, which kind of goes into my favorite DC character is Tim Drake. So I must have a likeness for anybody with the last name of Drake that you automatically become my favorite. So if you're out there in YouTube land with the YouTube name of Drake, or your last real name is Drake, then you're my favorite. So yeah, the Iceman character I have always liked. So there would be one. As far as top 5, that's the only Marvel character that makes it into my top 5. The rest are all DC. So I think I should at least say something about the Iceman character, that I like him that much. Then it would be Kyle Rayner Green Lantern, or White Lantern now. I do like the Kyle Rayner character. The 90s were really big in me collecting comic books, and Kyle Rayner was right around that time, so I thought, well, cool, we got a new Robin, we got a new Flash, and now there's a new Green Lantern. So I really like the Kyle Rayner Green Lantern character, and I liked that his constructs were really art infused, as he was an artist. So and I like to draw and those type of things in school, so I really gravitated towards the Kyle Rayner character, and he's always been it's still my favorite Lantern. Green Arrow, and not because of the Arrow TV series. One of the first comic books that I ever got was from my uncle. It was a Batman Brave and the Bold with lovely Neil Adams artwork in it, and it was a team-up of Batman and Green Arrow, and I would read this thing cover to cover. I still have it. I wish I had it here. It's just out of my reach. I can't get it to the box. But I loved that comic, and then I started gravitating towards just other Green Arrow. Anytime I could pick up a Justice League book that had Green Arrow in it, or if I found a Green Arrow book that had Oliver Queen in it, I loved the character. So that would be another another hero that I like. And then Aquaman. It was kind of like my guilty pleasure. I always kind of liked Aquaman off and on. He wasn't utilized very well in the superpowers, but I just thought it was so cool that Aquaman could swim underwater, he could talk underwater, and that the rest of the superheroes were patrolling, the last fourth of the land, but Aquaman had 3/4 of the world is covered in water. So I always thought that was really cool. So there's Aquaman, and then Shazam, or Captain Marvel. I know there's two trains of thoughts, but growing up in the 80s, and I have a Superpowers action figure of Shazam, and I remember the box saying Shazam, and that's how I had always heard of him referred to as Shazam. Until I got a little bit older, somebody said, oh no, his name's Captain Marvel. And I always thought, why call him Captain Marvel when he's a DC character? He has nothing to do with Marvel. That didn't make any sense to me until I, found out the history of Captain Marvel. But I like in the New 52, they refer to him as Shazam. Now, some people may not know that's just due to DC Comics that Marvel was wanting to use the name Captain Marvel in their books, and I think that there was some licensing going back and forth or whatever, and DC said, you know what, we're just going to call him Shazam. I think that makes sense. And somebody had said in a message board one time, well, how can he say, hi, my name is Shazam, and bam, he turns back into Billy Batson? I always took it as it's the way you say it. So he has to say it in a certain inflection, and then he turns into Billy Batson or Shazam. So it'll be interesting to see which character The Rock is going to be, if he's going to be Shazam or if he's going to be Black Adam. I hope he's Black Adam. I think he would probably make an okay Shazam, but I think he looks more the part of Black Adam, and I would have no idea who to cast as a Shazam. I think an interesting casting choice would be Billy Batson. I think that's the one they're really going to have to nail, that you believe in the kid that wants to be something greater than he is. So probably next to Batman and Robin, Shazam is my favorite DC character, and I think for the reason being, when I was a kid, I was always smaller in school and getting picked on. I thought, wouldn't it be cool that I could just yell Shazam and I could turn into this big superhero, and I can show those bullies, not to do this. So I always really gravitated towards the Captain Marvel Shazam character. So thank you, Heroes Workbench, for your question. All Batman 22, another cool friend that I've made on YouTube. He sent in a couple questions, and here are his questions. First question, what is your favorite portrayal of Robin outside of comics and Robin-related episode on TV series? My favorite portrayal of Robin outside of comics is probably going to be Batman the Animated Series. Live action, there has been only one, well, unless you count the old serials from the 1930s and 1940s. But in more recent times, Chris O'Donnell's portrayal of Robin, which we'll get into a question in a little bit, so I'll answer that one there. But as far as outside of comics, the Batman Animated Series, I think hands down has been it. Batman Under the Red Hood was really close. I like Jason Todd as a Robin, and I thought that whole cartoon series, or that whole animated film, was done very, very well. But it comes in as a very close second. The animated series, I thought, was just phenomenal from top to bottom. And it was a few episodes I thought, oh, we're not going to get a Robin. So once they brought in the Dick Grayson character, which I thought was interesting, that they put him in Tim Drake's costume. And I'm trying to remember a discussion I had with somebody. He's in my Robin Everyone Loves the Drake podcast, so there's a plug for that. If you haven't checked it out, it's available on iTunes. I posted it on my Facebook page. It's a podcast that I do that deals with the 90s Tim Drake Robin comic. Talked to my friend Terrence 2 weeks ago, and he asked, do you think if they hadn't created Tim Drake's costume, if they just would have put him back in the Dick Grayson, Jason Todd costume, would the Batman animated series have had the Robin character in that costume? Would it have worked in the series? And I don't know if it would have. I kind of wonder if they just would have skipped it all together. I don't know if that costume would have worked in the Batman animated series or not. So yeah, that's kind of an interesting thought. But then once we got to the New Adventures of Batman, the Tim Drake character inclusion in that just won me over, and I liked that animated series look very much. Not that I didn't like the first incarnation of the animated series, but I liked some of the redesigns, and then adding Tim Drake Robin to the animated series just won it over for me. So that would be my favorite portrayal of Robin outside of comics. I would love for them to nail Robin right in the hopefully Batman versus Superman, or if we get a standalone Batman with Ben Affleck and add Robin and the rest of the Bat family somewhere in there, that'll win me over top to bottom. If there's any, I'll save it because that's a question coming up from All Batman. His next question is, are you excited about the new Batman versus Superman movie? Not really. No, I am very, very stoked for this. And people keep saying that there's too many characters, they're going to throw too much in here. Star Wars, Star Trek, Lord of the Rings. You could go on and on and on and name a bazillion movies that have a bazillion characters, and those movies work very well. Yes, they may spend a little bit more time on certain characters here or there, but if you have a series of films, you can weave in and out. I don't think we have to follow the Marvel method. We have to have a Superman movie, and then a Batman movie, and then a Wonder Woman movie. Why not put the whole team there together, and we can see how they're functioning at the start and make you go, I want to see more about this Wonder Woman character. Or like, I didn't get enough about Cyborg, or I didn't get enough of Aquaman in this. I want to see him in his own movie. And that'll propel you that you liked this character. I don't want DC to do exactly what Marvel is doing. Then people are going to complain, well, DC is just doing exactly what Marvel did. I want DC to run with this. I would love for DC to be doing even half as good as what Marvel's doing. Marvel is killing it right now, and Guardians of the Galaxy was probably my favorite movie of the summer. I loved Captain America very, very much, and I would like to watch it again. But Guardians of the Galaxy just hit that button for me that I thought, this is a summer blockbuster movie. It's got the space thing going on that I kind of like, kind of reminiscent of Star Wars, Star Trek, and I now want to compare it to that, but just a real feel-good movie. So I'm getting a little sidetracked here. That being said, I'm very stoked about it. I have been pro Ben Affleck since the very, very beginning. Big fan of Kevin Smith's movies, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Clerks, Jay and Silent Bob. Jersey Girl, I don't know what the fuss over Jersey Girl was. I enjoyed the movie, whatever. I'm not a fan of Geely. So I've always been a Ben Affleck fan. And I don't know if he would have been my first choice for Batman. I couldn't even tell you who somebody I would have picked to cast as Batman. But seeing, pardon me, but seeing the first even the footage from Comic-Con, with the first still photo we had of Ben Affleck as Batman, instantly I'm like, I'm on board. 100% sold. He looked like Batman. He is the first actor that is going to be the height that Batman actually is. Christian Bale and especially Michael Keaton were very short. George Clooney and Val Kilmer were close into size, but as far as the physique and the look, Ben Affleck's going to be the first that's going to be the quote-unquote right build. Where do you think he's the right person for the role? I'm not saying that, but as far as physique goes, Ben Affleck's the first to kind of match that. I think he looks great in the costume. I can't wait to see some actual, real crystal clear footage, or get some real actual colored footage. I love the suit is not going to be black anymore. I am so tired and sick of the black Batman costume. I do not want to see it again on any movie whatsoever again. I want a gray and black costume. If I have my wish, I want the blue and gray. I've always argued if Captain America can run around in red, white, and blue, and Iron Man can be in gold and red, there's no reason why Batman can't be blue and gray. So, yes, I'm very excited about it. One little there's all kinds of rumors and stuff going on, and with, excuse me, with more than a year and a half to go before this movie comes out, there's going to be all kinds of rumors and things that people think that they hear and all this other stuff. The one I keep reading of is that, you know, Ben Affleck's Batman is older, probably in his 40s, about the age that Ben Affleck actually is. So he's been at it for 20 years or so, or 15 or whatever it is. So it is very easy to assume that he's had one, if not two, Robins. They've already kind of said that he is has an estranged relationship with Dick Grayson. So that establishes one Robin. One thing that has come out, they have said that there is a rumor, it's not official yet, but there is a trophy case of a tattered Robin costume in the Batcave. That excites me to no end. That not only says that there's one Robin, that there's two Robins, and who knows, we could get a third Robin, we could get a Tim Drake Robin in this universe. If I see any reference to a Tim Drake Robin character, I will probably do laps in the theater. That will excite me to no end. And just the fact of seeing Batman and Superman in the same movie, occupying the same space on the screen, is something I think every comic book fan, any superhero fan, has been dying to see forever. I don't care if you hate the casting, there is that curiosity that's going to hit you that will probably draw you to that theater to say, I just want to see these two. I hope the movie is great. I hope it's phenomenal. I don't want to put blinders on and go, yeah, it was horrible and it'd be a piece of crap. If it is, I'll say that it is. But I really think they could have something very, very special here. Whether whatever you thought of the Man of Steel movie, I hope that's the weakest out of the bunch, and I still really like that movie. So I'm rattling here. Yes, I am very excited about the Batman versus Superman movie. I really hope that this is the movie that launches 1,000 DC ships. I think I said that before in a previous video. So thank you all, Batman22, for your question. And now, the winner of the chess piece. He sent in 9 questions. Mr. Jamie Evans, he is yours. Message me through Facebook, send me your mailing address, and I will send this guy out to you straight away. You have been a great friend on not only on YouTube, but on Facebook, and I kind of got ripped in one of my videos, and out of nowhere, Jamie came in to kind of bat for me and said some things. I happened to be at work, and the things that I wanted to say, he ended up saying, so that meant the absolute world to me, sir. I initially said I was going to do a drawing for this, but after reading your questions and just kind of looking over this past year, I've made another cool friend in you, sir. So this guy is yours. If you would like him, again, send me a message through Facebook, and I will get him out to you. So the Damien Eaglemoss chess piece goes to the person that sent in 9 questions. Not that somebody could go, oh, if I just sent in 9 questions. I think it was just in the whole thing. So sorry if I just made anybody about drawing, but you, sir, you definitely deserve this. So I want to thank you. Now we'll get into his questions. These are all Jamie Evans' questions, and it'll be the last for this segment. Who or what started you doing YouTube videos and figure reviews, and who were you watching at the time? The review spot. A lot of people say that they have been watching the review spot, and I think I started stumbling onto it that I had bought the DC Superheroes Batman and Batgirl 2-pack. And I just kind of want to know some more information about it, so I don't know if I Googled it or I went onto YouTube, but the review spots review came up, and then I watched that one, and then I fell down the rabbit hole of the review spot and just watch everything that he put out. And the other person, there were 2, was Chapman Films. I think he was getting started just a little bit before I was, and I was just captivated by Chapman Films. He was funny, and he cracked me up with doing the voices that he would do, and just the way he would present his figures. So the combination of Review Spot and Chapman Films it wasn't like, well, if those two guys can do it, I could. It was more of like, these seem like two cool guys that are average, ordinary guys that love action figures, love collecting, and have a bit of personality and a sense of humor about it. And I thought, I think I might be able to do something like that. And what really kind of pushed me to really want to do it was Chapman Films. Excuse me, one of his latter few videos before I started doing it. And I'm blanking on what it was. I want to say it might have been a Shazam figure or something of his. I'm blanking on it now. I bet I could go back to his channel and find it. But there was just something that he said in there that really sparked, that seemed like this had been a guy I would have gone to high school with, that I could have seen me hang out with this guy, and that just really kind of made me feel at ease about doing the channel. So the review spot in Chapman Films, and there were certainly other ones out there that I was watching as well, but those two really, they didn't push me to do it, but it was more subliminally. I just was watching them and going, there's some stuff I'd like to say about some figures, or, you know, nobody was really focusing on Robin stuff, so I thought, I've got some things I'd like to say about Robin. And I kind of picked up that Chapman Films kind of liked Robin as well, so I thought, well, cool. So, and the first figure I ever reviewed was this right here, the Young Justice Robin figure. So if you go very back to Rob's Rogues #1, or actually the what was wrong with this figure, that's kind of why I did that. So those are the two. That's the long answer, Jamie. Sorry. What is the most expensive? What is the most you've ever paid for a figure, statue, because you had to have it? That would be the DC Universe Classics. Again, I'm pointing like you can see it. I would run off. We'd have dead air here. But the DC Universe Classics Robin from the Batman and Robin Walmart 2-pack. I could kick myself every single day. I saw it in the store, and I don't know if it was Wave 5. It would be this Tim Drake here in the red and black that I almost bought, but I bought this guy instead through Amazon. But I thought, you know, I want the red and black costume. But then I saw this 2-pack, and I thought, oh, this would be really cool to get this 2-pack. And it was $30, and I was like, that's an awful lot to spend on 2 figures, you know. And I thought, oh wait, and then I saw it drop, and then it went to $20. I thought, no, maybe in a little bit, and then it went down to 15. I thought, okay, I'll go get it. I'll go get it. I went back to the store. 2 days later, gone. Never saw it again. And this is probably a year that this figure bounced around, this 2-pack, from shelf to shelf to shelf in my local Walmart, and I can't believe it lasted almost a year or so on the store shelf before somebody bought it. So I could kick myself every single day for not buying it. With the tax return last year, I paid $67 for that one single DC Universe Classics Robin figure. $67 for one one Mattel action figure that I could have bought for $15. I could have bought for $30 and got the 2 back when it originally came out. So that is the most expensive that I bought. And my wife was like, "You're going to use, you know, we each paid things off that we had to pay off, and then gave each of ourselves $100 to just kind of blow and do whatever we wanted with." And what I spent most of mine on was that one single figure, and that was a holy grail figure that I just absolutely wanted and had to have, but I never got it up until last year. So he's probably on my shelf and is probably one of my favorite DC Universe Classics figures, just because it cost so much to get, and I have not seen him go down below $40 on eBay at all. So yeah, that's been my most expensive. The next question is, the music outro, is that your band's music? As I've said before, I play drums. I play drums in a praise band at my church, and I've played in other rock bands and things like that. About 4 years ago, from playing in bar bands and things like that after I graduated high school, I had written about 4 or 5 songs with a couple buddies of mine and one of my best friends. since graduating high school, and a buddy of mine put in like a little recording studio into his house, and said, "Hey, would you mind drumming on some of my music for me?" I said, "Yeah, sure, that's great." So I tracked, I think 7 or 8 of his songs. After we got done, he said, "Do you have any music you'd like to do?" And I said, "I actually have 6 pieces that I have written, and I had stuff that were just on videotape." So I said, "I don't have any music from them, other than the other buddy of mine that helped me write a few of these pieces. He came over to my friend Brian's house, and the 3 of us watched the videos or taught them, and some of them I sat there, and the song goes, you know, like that, like just getting it out in that fashion. We recorded 6 songs for what I called the Purple Planet 10 project. Purple is one of my favorite colors, and I used to draw in art class this like planet. Now, it looked like Saturn with the rings around it, but I had the planet on fire. And the art teacher was like, "That's really unique." And I always kind of said this was, you know, nobody understands me. I'm in my own little world, on my own little planet. It's on fire, you know, all that type of stuff. So about 2 years ago, another friend of mine that does beautiful paintings and just original artwork, I painted this giant canvas, and I'm looking at it. I'll post it on my Facebook page, of the album cover. Now, that was almost 4 years ago. I haven't released it. I want to put it on iTunes. All original music that I wrote, except 2 songs. My best friend wrote 2 of the other ones. But I drum on all the tracks. I sing lead vocals on all the tracks except one. I do a vocal duet with a buddy of mine. But the song that you hear at the end of my videos is a song called Six String Shooter. And the song is about a guy that's a guitar player, 6 string, and he's wanted by the law. So it's like a chase thing, and I have sirens and ambulances. I don't know what a 6 string shooter is. I kind of thought him as like a gun carrying honky tonk bar singer or something like that that did something wrong, and he's wanted by the law, and he can't get back to his girlfriend. It's more rock and roll, hard rock. Kind of along the lines of maybe a little bit of Kiss, a little Seven Dust, Alter Bridge, Creed, Bon Jovi-esque a little bit. If you kind of put all those groups into a blender, that's kind of what this is. So I think for the Batman review, since he looks like a rough and tough kind of character, after you watch the Batman Earth 2 review, if it's okay, I will play the full song in its entirety. And YouTube can't flag me for it because it's my own personal piece, but I heard Chapman Films say once that some of the little music he used to put on YouTube tried to flag it as copywritten music, and he's like, "I wrote it myself, it's mine." So hopefully YouTube will let me put the whole song in there. And I would like to hope sometime before the end of the year I'll actually release my Purple Planet 10 project solo EP album of the 6 songs that I wrote. So there's that question for you, Jamie. Question number 4: how long does it take you to set up or edit, research, and shoot video before you upload it? Some, excuse me, like this Batman figure, I will shoot straight from the hip. I've been reading the comic that this one came from, and I'm very familiar with the universe. So there isn't usually a lot of research that has to be done to it if I'm already pretty knowledgeable with anything Robin-wise. Unless I want specific dates, I'll Google it really quick. Just write a really crude note that I have sitting on my review table. Since all you really see are hands, I'll have my dry erase board, I'll have stuff written on it, or just pieces of paper laying around that I could quickly go to it, or have my phone set up and just kind of rattle off the information there. Other stuff like some of the Marvel, like when I get into the Iceman figure, I'll do a little bit more research. It just depends on what things I really want to hit in the review. It may be 15 to 20 minutes. That may not seem like a lot, but it is for when I want to try and get the review, and I want to try and keep them down under 15 minutes, but I tend to blather and I've been trying to edit some of the rambling out of some of the videos. But I do have people say they like a longer video. I like little longer videos to watch. I feel like I'm getting a little bit more. Now, granted, if I'm watching a lot of people's reviews and everybody's talking for 15 to 20 minutes or a half hour, that does get to be a long chunk of the day, but I think it's a good problem to have. So the setup, I have a room upstairs where I keep my drum kit. My drum kit is in 2 different places. My drum kit's big enough that I can have, I have this big massive kit, but I can have it in 2 separate places. I have enough equipment. So I have a table set up there that has my backdrop and my coverings and my lights already up on it. So all I have to do is, for instance, with this Batman figure, I'll take it right upstairs, set it up, turn the lights on, turn the camera on, bam, and I'm ready to roll. So it doesn't take really long to set up and do that. I used to, when I did the animated series reviews, for every review that you saw that, I had the table originally downstairs. I sat up that table every single time you saw one of those reviews, and it was a really pain in the butt. And I tried to get the Wayne Manor backdrop in that in the exact same place every single time. I had a mark on the floor of where the camera was, so the camera distance was always exactly the same. So that took a lot longer to do. That was probably a 30-minute setup every single time, just so I even measured stuff like they do in the movies. It was a pain in the butt. So, but now I have a spot upstairs just off the side of my drum kit when the drum kit is here. So it's always set up. We have 2 spare bedrooms upstairs, which we don't have any kids yet, and the other room is just storage. So that's all set up. His 5th question: what is your guilty pleasure movie, game, and TV show? Guilty pleasure: The Golden Girls. My wife is a Golden Girls fan, loves the show, and my grandmother always watched The Golden Girls back in the 80s. We would go over, I'm trying to remember what night of the week that show was on, but it always seemed like we would go over to my grandparents' house while that show was going on, and very close to my grandmother, so when some of my other nieces and nephews would be there, or my parents, or they'd be playing games or something, my grandma would usually sit in the back and watch her TV show. She always watched Murder, She Wrote. I like Murder, She Wrote as well. But she would watch Golden Girls. And I would laugh, more so at my grandmother laughing at the show. And when I met my wife, and she said she liked the Golden Girls, and I was like, oh okay, well, whatever. So we've been watching them in reruns late in the evening as we're going to bed. It's kind of what we fall asleep to, set the sleep timer, and watch Golden Girls. I'll be like, is this the one where they go to meet Burt Reynolds and the girls get arrested and they go to jail and Sophia takes a ticket and meets Burt Reynolds? Yeah, I can quote you that. So it may not be my favorite show, but a guilty pleasure show that I'll watch is that. One of my favorite shows is Seinfeld. I love Seinfeld. You know, Friends and Seinfeld, and like Big Bang Theory. So yeah, I have a whole array. What was his other questions? I'm going to get this. Guilty pleasure movie. I don't know if I would call it a guilty pleasure movie. One that I watch every year on February 2nd is Groundhog's Day. I love Groundhog's Day. There was just something in the Groundhog's Day movie about, I guess, just living your life to the fullest potential every second you get. You know, they say, you know, you don't get a chance to do this over. This is your only chance, and that's the irony of that movie. He gets to do that day over and over and over and over again until he gets it right. And sometimes you look at it and go, I wish I had another chance to get yesterday right. I did so horrible yesterday. I just took something away from that. So I don't know if I would call it a guilty pleasure movie. Guilty pleasure music-wise, Kelly Clarkson. So since I don't have a guilty pleasure movie, the guilty pleasure would be Kelly Clarkson. I'm a big Kelly Clarkson fan, but don't tell anybody else. See the whole array of CDs over here. Music is really, really huge and big to me. So not only do I collect action figures and movies, but I have a very large music collection. So you'll see like Christina Aguilera and Clay Aiken and Kelly Clarkson and stuff that you wouldn't associate with me. I'm, you know, Kiss, Dream Theater, Seven Dust, Motley Crue, all the 80s hair bands. And we just recently saw Chicago and REO Speedwagon, huge Chicago fan, so I go across the gambit. But guilty pleasure, I have all of Kelly's albums. Just don't tell anybody. His 6th question, there's a couple more here. My thoughts on Chris O'Donnell's portrayal of Robin. I liked his portrayal of Robin in Batman Forever. I have a poster just off the way that you can't see that I bought in 1994 when that movie came out of Chris O'Donnell Robin. I thought it was a great pose where he's kind of like this in the picture. I think I have every one of them. I have Val Kilmer, Nicole Kidman, Jim Carrey. I have all those posters, and they're all like back to back to back back behind each other, and the big movie poster as well. But up front is the Chris O'Donnell poster. I thought about putting it over here and seeing if anybody notices. Maybe the next Rogue show, I'll swap this one out. I love this poster, but I'll throw the Chris O'Donnell poster up there. So I liked him in that. I didn't care for him as much in Batman and Robin, and the only reason I didn't care for him in Batman and Robin is because of the costume he was wearing. I hated that costume. If you were going to dress him up as Nightwing, then make him Nightwing. That would have been a progression you could have done. And maybe that's a reason. That's not the reason why I didn't like Batman and Robin. I thought Chris O'Donnell did very good in the Robin role that he was given. I'm not faulting his acting chops or anything for the movie. An actor can only work with the dialogue that they're given and the way that they can deliver the dialogue. Now, I just didn't care for the look. I would have liked him just to have been in his Robin costume from his first movie and from Batman Forever, and I'd have been pleased as punch. But they tried to have their cake and eat it too. We went the Robin bird logo, but Nightwing has the bird logo, so we'll kind of dress him up like Nightwing, but give him a cape. And I didn't care for his look in the second movie. So, seeing how everybody doesn't really care for that movie anyway, I did like him as Robin. I thought that was pretty cool. First on-screen Robin in almost 60 years. So. I fell in love with it. Just seeing Robin on the screen, I thought was fantastic. My mother is trying to call me right now, so I'll have to silence her. Sorry, Mom. Favorite Elseworld Robins is a seventh question. I've never been a big fan of Elseworlds. I don't know if you want to count like the Earth 2 and the other multiverse. The Helena Wayne Robin I thought was kind of cool. From New 52. I would like to hope we get an action figure from her. Earth 2 Robin from back in the old continuity where he had, if you watch the Brave and the Bold cartoon series, they used that Robin, where they got rid of the shorts. Instead of the bare legs, they had the yellow legs, like tights. I didn't read a lot of Elseworld stuff. The only Elseworld book I have is Speeding Bullet. It's what if the Superman character landed in Gotham City instead of Kansas, and where Superman, Clark Kent, becomes Batman. So that's an interesting story. So yeah, I've never been a big fan of Elseworlds. I never really collected much Elseworlds, so I've seen some Elseworlds looks online, but I can't tell you who or what they are. So I really don't have one. He has two more questions here. What would you like to see in the future of the Robin character, whether in comics or film? In comics, I would like to have Damian back. In a perfect world, I would like Tim Drake to be Robin again, but I don't think we're going to get that. Tim Drake is still a Robin. He's a Red Robin. I'm fine with that. So he can be Red Robin, and I will have my Robin, my favorite Robin, still always be Robin, whether it be red, green, blue, or whatever. As long as Robin's in his name, I'm fine. But at least as far as the Robin main character would be, I've said this to some of my Rogue Show co-hosts, that I don't want Robin to just be this ongoing character over and over and over and over again, that we're on, here's Robin 63, you know. I think you start diluting the Robin character. I would have been happy in the New 52 if Dick Grayson had decided he's going to be Robin again. Or after Damian's death, maybe Jason Todd decides he wants a shot at Robin again. I'd be okay with that, or Tim Drake. And people say, oh, about Carrie Kelly or Harper Row, or could be somebody else. We get a Hispanic Robin, or an African-American Robin, or a Chinese Robin. I still want it to be part of the Batman family, and boy, girl, it doesn't matter, gender, whatever, but I don't want the Robin character diluted anymore. To me, it makes the best sense for Damian to be Batman, because you know that Bruce Wayne is not going to be Batman forever. And who better to take over being Batman than his own son, his own flesh and blood? A perfect knight and squire, knight of the round table, ascension to the throne, if you will. I think that would be very, very cool. So I'm really hoping in the Robin Rises that Bruce Wayne's able to get his son back, and we just leave Robin alone. And I would like that when I have kids and they're reading Batman and Robin comics, Bruce Wayne is still Batman, and that Damian is still Robin. I think that would be perfect for me. And his last question here, which this is the question that made me laugh out loud, and I said I've got to give this to him. So Jamie, this was my favorite question out of the whole bunch. If there were a zombie apocalypse, what would your weapon of choice? What would your weapon of choice be? And who of the Rogue Show members would you take with you if you could only take one? My phone is chiming off right here. My mother tried to call, and my Rogue Show chat log we have linked to our Facebook page through our messenger is going off. So the Rogues are talking. So I don't know if anyone are watching this right now, which I don't think they are. They're at work because I'm off. My weapon of choice. Oh man, I was sitting here laughing before camera. I was trying to decide, well, what weapon would I be? Jamie had sent me a message on Facebook like, hey, did I miss the show? Is it on already? I was like, no, just in a few moments. I even counted down like 5, 4, 3, 2, ... because I'm trying to figure what my weapon's going to be, and I don't know. I'd want to think if I had a bow staff like Tim Drake, but that's not going to do much. Probably something like an axe, but something that you could wield very fast. I think from like The Walking Dead, the sword would be really cool, like the katana sword. Something that would be very sharp, that you could use that still gives you a long reach to slice away at something before they get to you, like Michonne's like katana, like I said. It would probably be something really crude out of my if it happened here and I needed a weapon really quick, I'd probably go out to my garage and I'd probably grab a shovel. I have a cobalt blue shovel that I would probably use as my weapon. It would be very long to have a reach, and I could dig if I had to do any digging for burying anything. So I think I'm going to change for what I have available. Like if I stumble on somewhere I could pick up a sword, yeah, great, do that. But I would go out and go get my shovel, and maybe even like a spade type of shovel, something you could put in your back, like a backpack. You carry with you, you could run with it, you don't have to worry about tripping over it. So that would be my thing. And who from the Rogue Show would I take? I would have to leave Stu out unless I was over in the UK and I could track down Stu. So just so I don't have to pick Stu, that if it happens here, I would say, buddy, if you can make it over here, we've got a safe place. Or if he's got a place over there, I could bring somebody else along, but then I would be leaving out somebody else. So we'll leave Stu out of the equation. Man, so that's going to leave ODC, Automatica, and Chapman Films. Wow. I don't know. Part of me wants to say Olivia, because I think she could fight dirty, and she could hold her own. I think Anthony would be Billy Badass and just kind of go all crazy. He might be a loose cannon. Chapman Films, I think, just might go into hiding, and he's going to board himself up with his wife and his kid, and he's going to say, all right, we're not coming out. We know we're safe if we go outside. So between Anthony and Olivia, I'm going to have to go with Olivia on this one. I really think she could hold her own. I'm afraid, sir, Anthony, you might be the loose cannon of the group, and you might just go, oh, balls, I'm going out, I think you might end up getting me killed, and in the zombie apocalypse, I just need to run faster than the person behind me. So, Olivia, if you can keep up, you could stay in my group. I'm not above tripping somebody. So, that's going to conclude it for my 3-year YouTube anniversary. Again, the winner of the chess piece, because of that single question alone that made me laugh for the zombie apocalypse. I'm a huge Walking Dead fan, by the way. I've almost thought about buying Walking Dead action figures. I think they're kind of cool. But Jamie Evans, sir, you get this wonderful piece here. So send me a message on Facebook, and I will mail this guy out to you pronto. I love this chess piece. I think it's a really cool image of Damien 2 standing there with his staff looking like, I don't care. So real quick, some of the things that are coming up here before I sign off is the Earth 2 Batman, which I've shown a couple times. This just arrived. I don't want to say how much I like this figure, but I really, really do. Starfire may get kicked out as my favorite sculpted figure. Again, the Batman animated series action figures are coming up here right after this Earth 2 Batman. I might throw in another What's in the Tote, but I kind of want to see what people think after watching this. If you want to see the Star Wars What's in the Tote, like I said, I know it's all Star Wars stuff, but I don't remember what's in there, and there is a butt ton of stuff in there. There is a lot of stuff in this tote. And I have a lot of Star Wars stuff as well. And I have another box that I don't know what's in it at all. There can only be one thing in it. So some of these with what's in the totes, I know that some are really, really full, some are half full, and some I don't remember what I put in there. So that's coming up. Again, the Batman animated series figures. I'm thinking I've got a couple more DC chess pieces to do. I just recently bought Cyborg for my DC chess set, so I'm really anxious to get that reviewed. I do have, speaking of Elseworlds, Jamie, I do have the Kenner Legends of the Batman action figure set. If you go back to probably when The Dark Knight Rises came out, I did a Dark Knight Rises week where I reviewed some of my older action figures. And one of them that I picked, one that I reviewed was Future Batman, and a lot of this line was Elseworld action figures, and that was also the point where I decided I'm not buying, Cyborg Batman or Swashbuckling Robin, because they weren't ever in comics anywhere that I'm aware of, and but I almost bought that whole entire wave. So you can see some of the crazy figures, but there are some really, really cool figures in that set. One of the first Nightwing figures that I've ever owned is in that set, and arguably almost one of my favorite Nightwing figures. He doesn't do much. He's kind of affixed into one pose, but he looks really, really cool. So that'll be coming up. I'll probably be digging back into some of my older action figures, or maybe some stuff from these totes that I'll look at and go, wow, I forgot that I had this. Most of it will be generally DC, Batman and Robin, superhero related still, but I may throw some curveballs here and kind of show you some older figures of my Ute for all the my cousin Vinny fans out there. So those are the few things that are coming up. Again, I want to say a big, big thank you to everybody on YouTube that has been watching Rob's Rogues these 3 years. It means the absolute world to me. It sounds corny, it sounds cheesy, but if it wasn't for those first few subscribers, I probably would have stopped doing this right away. I thought, nobody cares. Nobody cares what I have to say. I'm a guy that likes Robin primarily, and I do a lot of Robin content on here, and I don't think anybody cares. So once the subscriber count hit 20, I thought, I think people are really enjoying this. So again, it means the absolute world that you guys have stuck with me this long. I have some cool stuff coming up. I have a cool Christmas giveaway that I think is cool. If you could figure out what the Christmas giveaway is, then hey, cool, more power to you. And I'll have rules or whatever for that giveaway. It just may be a straight if you want to enter this and celebratory for Christmas or whatever. I'll figure that out when we get there. But again, like I said, I'm going to say thank you a million times in this video. Thank you, thank you, thank you for 3 years of YouTube. I have met some wonderful friends through YouTube that I never would have met you if it hadn't been for this YouTube. I know we could have met through Facebook, but I made the Facebook page after I had done the YouTube channel, and even on Facebook I met some wonderful people there. So again, thank you for 3 years on YouTube. Here's to another 3 and 3 after that, and who knows how long reviewing is going to be a thing that people are going to want to see done. Hopefully with products that we get, that the good products that we get, the reviews will keep coming. The Rogue Show will be back. I've got my Batman Eternal poster here propped up off to the side. We're really behind in reviewing that. It just may be more of an overview. I haven't talked to the other Rogue Show hosts if they still want to continue to do it. I think they do. It's something I toyed about, maybe doing a podcast of Batman Eternal on my own, or maybe with them as well. We'll find out when the next Rogue Show comes up. I would hope to think we'll do it next month. I know we've got a ton of stuff to talk about from Comic-Con. Mattel, sounds like they're going to be releasing Superman Unleashed. Can you believe that? After they said they weren't going to, so that's a whole debacle in and of itself. My cat is meowing like crazy. My mother is calling again. So that is going to be my sign-off. Again, thank you so much for watching Rob's Rogues. Thank you to those of you that wrote in, and some of you didn't send in questions, which were fine. You were just wishing me a happy anniversary. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. It means a lot. And like I've heard people say, if reviewing something you think you want to do, give it a shot. You know, I heard people say there's a certain way you have to do this or that. Just be yourself. Even in life, be your own individual person. Don't be something that you think you have to be. Be the thing and the person that you can be, and that's all anybody's ever going to ask of you. And if they ask more of it, then maybe you don't need them around. So anyway, thanks a lot. We'll see you guys on the next video. And the next video will be Earth 2 Batman. Talk to you guys again. Bye.